Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. It's almost human lifetime. We got Tony and look who's back. Ian.
There he is.
Oh yeah! What's up, brothers?
It's
What's happening, bro?
alcohol.
Yeah,
I'm the one that came up with Ayatollah of alcohol. I get
that's
no
right.
credit. You know what I also came up with, Ian? Oh
What's
my
that?
God, Kiss.
Yeah,
I get no credit for that.
yeah, but
I also came up with Cheer Chris and Fake Fraley. I get no credit for this.
yeah, but when you came up with Ayatollah Alcohola, yeah, you came up with the name, but Terrence traced around it and kind of refined the logo.
Yeah,
So you got to give him credit too.
yeah, I'm Ace. He's Paul.
Oh
Wayne.
man, my triumphant return, and Wayne's not here. He's so pissed because I said, "Hey, look, guys, I'm coming back. Let's do a big episode." And Wayne wanted to do Poison, the Blue Saraceno years, and we got outvoted. And Wayne's so pissed off he didn't even show up.
Was it years or months?
Hey, it could have been
I think it
weeks.
was months. Yeah, weeks.
Yeah, I believe it was Poison, the Blue Saraceno weeks.
Weeks.
And seriously, this goes to all these viewers that leave her comments how you don't like Wayne. Trust me, he's gonna come around. You're gonna love him because Wayne rules, man. How can you not like Wayne? That's a big mystery. Wayne's such a wacky ass.
Yeah, how can anybody out there watching possibly hate Wayne more than we do? I mean, we have to do a show with him. You just have to watch him. Quit bitching.
Wayne's all right, but
Wayne's awesome.
I don't know if he's coming tonight.
And check out Toss Salad Reviews. Lots of good content there.
All right, guys. So, Tony, why
What's
don't you share with the viewers what you got for Christmas this year?
Oh, I got a few records and stuff for Christmas. So I got a good book. This is stuff that my girl got me. It's a book about Y&T, and it just kind of like goes through each album and talks about each album. And this is by Tim Derling, who did the book on 8-track tapes as well. He has his Tim's Vinyl Confessions channel on YouTube, and it's got some reviews where he basically has a few kind of like a panel discussion on each album. He has like Martin Popoff and Pete Pardo and some other guys take part in that. It's pretty cool. It goes through each album. She got me, this is the most oddest combination of music here now. I got that Coverdale page that you showed earlier from Japan. Awesome. And I got the 40th anniversary of Frontiers from Journey. And it's got a mix of Only the Young and Sacred Separate Ways, like you heard in they did for that show Stranger Things. And the coolest, got this killer like digibook set. It's like a book with pages, and it's a double album. It's the Hellhammer tribute that Tom G. Warrior does under the name Triumph of Death, where they played all the Hellhammer stuff from the EP and from the demos. And some of it was recorded in Europe, and some of it was recorded back in March of this year at the Hell's Heroes Fest in Houston, Texas, which I am still beating myself over the head because I didn't go to that show. I really hated to miss that this year because they did a Hellhammer set, and then Tom later with Triptychon did a whole Celtic Frost set. So love this stuff, man. It's really cool. So that's
what label is that on?
Journey and Celtic Frost Hellhammer. Yeah.
What label is that on? That Hellhammer thing.
Who put it out is Noise, BMG. And
okay, cool.
And Noise record imprint through BMG.
Cool, man. And I tell you, I think, well, whoever bought, you got the Journey as a gift, of course, but I'm waiting a few years because what they're going to do is they're going to go back and remaster them and take out all the Jonathan Cain parts. And that's when I'm going to go back and get those records.
Yeah,
I'm holding out.
Yeah, maybe they'll insert the Arnell vocals.
Yeah.
and then cool, you got that cool Y&T book. And I gotta say, man, I stand by it. I've come around a little bit to Y&T, but I had some come up on my phone. I always have shit on shuffle. and it was a song off of that Earthshaker. Is that the name of the album?
Yeah.
I think it's a song called Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. He sounds like Sammy Hagar.
Dude, that's my favorite YT.
Well, they talk about that in this book a lot. They compare his vocals to Sammy Hagar a lot. He does, but he can't help that, So
yeah, no. I'm just saying. I hear it.
Better songs than Sammy Hagar.
Yes, much better songs. And I tell you what, that song off there, "Dirty Girl." Oh my God, do I love that song?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just. I think that's the thing holding me back from getting deeper into them. But oddly enough, one of my favorite songs is "Contagious." So what the fuck do I know?
They actually discussed a little bit about they came out like in 1976 with their debut album, so it was a few years before Van Halen's debut, and it's kind of like there's some stuff that kind of like that kind of sounds like something Van Halen would do, and of course they got a lot of influence from Montrose as well, all of them coming out of that same area, and I'm sure Van Halen was aware of Y&T. They probably saw him somewhere, but
no, they were fans. I have a picture of Eddie with Joey of Y&T. Yeah, no, of course. Everybody was very influenced by Y&T during those years in California. Like, do you have that Y&T documentary that came out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's great. On with the show.
Yeah, all the people in that talking about Leonard's Foot.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, it sounds like he's doing double bass and he's doing it with one foot, one bass drum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. It sucks. Everybody died except for Dave.
Yeah, that sucks. Glad he's still out there making music, though. Goddamn.
Yeah, man. He just survived prostate cancer recently himself. Yeah. Did anybody else get any cool stuff for Christmas at all?
I got an official Kiss Avatar butt plug. But I can't show you it because I'm using it at the moment.
Well, I heard that was a prototype.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be released yet. Paul has them all.
I got one too. And what sucks, I should have read the directions before I put it in. It says I can't pull it out to 2027.
Yeah, I read that too, but that was after I put it
in. Yeah, me too.
Like, son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think people are going to really wait around that long? I'm with you, Ralph. It's not going to happen.
No, I predicted that there was never going to be. That's one thing nobody agreed with me with when I said 10 years or so ago that Paul and Gene were not going to replace themselves. As much as they kept saying in interviews, they just said it as an excuse for Tommy and Eric in that makeup saying, well, we all can be replaced. And then this was, mind you, before Paul lost his voice, him talking about being replaced. Then he lost his voice and he still doesn't replace himself. And then when they announced the Avatar, I was like, I told you they weren't going to replace themselves. And the way technology is now, it moves so fast that by the time 2027 comes around, that shit's going to look outdated.
Yeah. Well, and if you guys saw, they already put, because they know Kiss fans are suckers, they already put the dates up for sale. And it went from arena to a club, and now they're third on a bill, opening up for He-Man and G.I. Joe. So,
and it's actually a He-Man and G.I. Joe puppet show.
Yeah. So actually, the puppet show is headlining. Then then
that's the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So get there early if you want to see Kiss. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But
I predict they're going to scrap it. They're going to scrap it because they know they're not going to make money off it, and they ain't going to lose no money. This is going to be like, remember the Kiss football team? Remember the Kiss coffee shop? Remember Tongue magazine? Remember Gene Simmons records?
Yep.
All this shit that just tumbled and tumbled.
And what's going to be even worse is after the first tour bombs, the next tour they're going to add Scrappy Doo as a member. That's when things are really, really bad.
Yeah.
I will say this Avatar thing can succeed in like theaters if they did the Love Gun show. An Avatar Love Gun show with the Love Gun stage and all that. They can play theaters. I wouldn't say even arenas, or amphitheaters, but theaters, regular theaters, like where I see Ingve play, and I'm about to go see. Can you believe Adrian Vandenberg's playing down here? And it's
Yeah, I want to go see him. He's playing in early March in Myrtle Beach with opening for Queensryche.
no, he's headlining down here, and it's a nice size venue, which I'm like,
wow. Yeah, he's opening for Nate. It's
That's
not
crazy.
It's he's opening for Tate Wright, Jeff Tate's version or whatever. But
I bought tickets
to see him.
I got tickets to see Queensryche with Armored Saint. Really, I bought it for Armored Saint, but they're playing the whole EP and Warning out.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go to that. I got him 3 tickets for May, and they're one of the headliners, and I was like, well, they're playing if they're going to play the Warning, but if I hear they're doing a mixed set there, I probably won't care. I probably leave early.
Yeah, I'm really going for Armored Saint though.
But yeah, I mean, God, if they're playing the whole Warning and EP, that's pretty fucking cool because that's the best stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'd go see Adrian Vandenberg if he played all the Whitesnake albums that he didn't play on. The good shit.
Well, I'm sure he's going to do a little bit of Whitesnake, but I just hope he does some Vandenberg, man. At least some stuff off those first 2 records.
I want to hear, Wait.
Love is in Vain and Wait. Yeah.
Back on My Feet Again. Different Girls.
Back in the City. Yeah.
Welcome to
Lost in the City. Yeah.
I guess that's where I differ. If I go see Adrian Vandenberg, I want to see him play like good songs.
Yeah, I saw something where he played somewhere and he did like a Zeppelin medley and stuff. But I hope he doesn't take. He's got an opening slot with Jeff Tate that he didn't waste 15 minutes playing some other stuff, But I went and saw Zebra this past week, the night before Christmas Eve. They played for like over 100 minutes. They came out, did 4 songs, and they went in and did the whole first album, start to finish. Came back, did a few more songs from some of the other albums. Took an encore, came back, did Wait Until the Summer's Gone, and then did a Zeppelin medley where they did Heartbreaker into Since I've Been Loving You. And it was killer, man. They were just, those guys, they're in their late 60s, and they were just killing it, man. They sounded great.
That's great. I thought they only had 2 songs. That's crazy.
Yeah, they did 4 albums actually, but
shit.
But yeah, it was cool, man. It was really cool.
Nice. Did you get anything else, Ralph?
No. Trying to think. I got some things I showed last week. I got early Christmas presents. As far as my family just got me clothes and socks. Nothing really exciting,
Socks and drawers.
Yeah. I showed off all my metallic stuff I got in the mail this last week.
I lucked out, man. I got like a shit ton of Blu-rays and 4Ks, a lot of awesome shit. And I got, as far as vinyl, my wife got me the new, the Zappa, the Overnight Sensation, the deluxe 3LP splattered vinyl and shit. That was killer. But the funniest is, because my wife watches this shit and she knows how I fangirl over Martin Popoff when we, do shows with him and stuff. So she bought me 2 Martin Popoff books, one on Van Halen and one on Blue Oyster Cult. And she wanted to have them autographed to me. And he sent them autographed to my wife. So both of the books, I guess he didn't read it too well. Both the books are autographed to my wife, but I gotta give him shit next time he's on the show.
Yeah.
Read your fucking fan mail, Martin.
He writes weird autographs to me. Like the last one, he wrote, "Yeah, it may not be as good as Sammy Hagar, but I guess it'll do." Something like that. And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, most of the ones I've got from him is he'll write something that has something to do with the book, some sort of play on words to one of the song titles or something,
Yeah, and one of mine, he wrote, to Holly, I heard you're married to Ian, so I guess you'll fuck anyone. Weird shit like that, Martin, fucking Canadians, they're weird.
Canucks.
Yeah.
So, Ian, can you get on the page and see if people are leaving comments?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm
Oh,
right here. I see it.
all right. Tony's on the case.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a case. Tony's on the case.
Oh, by the way, an hour ago, or almost like 2 hours. Yeah, it was 2 hours ago. I did Ozzy trivia on the Metal Voice against the Metal Voice listeners who were all going on fucking Google
Oh,
and still beat their ass. I mean, come on. You're going to know the date. What date was No Rest for the Wicked released on? I'm talking about the month, the day, and the year. If you know that answer, you went on fucking Google.
Yeah. I know the month. I know the month and the year because I was a freshman in high school and I knew I bought it before I went and saw a certain movie. But yeah, the date. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, one guy wrote it, and I was like, that guy fucking Google. There's no way.
Yeah. You know how you know they go on Wikipedia? They say Osmosis is a good album. You know?
yeah.
Yes, that was a question. One of the trivia questions was, what song on Osmosis was written about Ozzy Osbourne's son? And I'm like, God, I was like, I fucking hate this album, you know? And I'm thinking, and I'm like, is it My Little Man? And Jimmy's like, yes. I was like, whoa, I got it right. And then some guy wrote in the chat room, you're crazy, Ralph. Osmosis rules.
Ugh.
That album's horrible. But you know
Jimmy,
what? Well,
any Don Costa questions?
No Don Costa. But I bet there's a question I got wrong. I bet you guys know. Because after he gave the answer, I was like, what? Of course I knew that. Who played bass on Osmosis? I knew this, but I guessed wrong.
I couldn't tell
Did
you.
Daisley play on that?
Who?
Or was it Mike Inez? Daisley?
That was my guess, Mike.
Geezer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Geezer.
My guess was Mike Inez, and then when he said Geezer, I was like, "That's right." I forgot.
Oh yeah, because I saw the tour and Geezer was playing.
Yeah. But yeah, cheater. But man, let me tell you something, man. I want to toot my own horn. You know how people are like, "No, to toot my own horn." No, my ego wants me to toot my own horn. The past 2 Metal Boys trivia and the past 5 on the Contrarians, I won every single one, all of them, 7 in a row. Yeah, I mean, with 2 different websites. The Contrarian one is more. Come on, I'm doing trivia against people that are there, so they can't Google.
Right.
Where on the Metal Boys, you know, it's people in the chat. And when Jimmy would ask a question, I was like, because I can't answer it. I got to wait till somebody gets it in the chat, then I answer it. When he asked me the question, I'm like, oh, I know this. But the chat takes like forever to answer it. I'm like, they're on Google, Jimmy. They're on fucking Google. But I still beat their ass. We got to do metal trivia on this show.
Yeah,
Nice.
we should do it sometime.
What one of our best episodes on Rock and Metal Combat? Remember our Kiss trivia where Wayne was asking
Wayne kept giving away the answers before, but he only did it because he would go, "All right, Ian, this and that," and then he would answer it, and he'd be pissed, going, "Dude, I knew that." But then when he would go to me, he never did it. Like he was never giving away the answers for me. But for Ian, he kept doing it over and over, and that was a disaster. But we need to get somebody on the show to ask the questions, you know, so we can all go against each other, you know.
Yeah, because we can't let the audience ask the questions because it'll all be like, "Why is Wayne on the show?
Yeah.
What is Wayne doing here?" You know.
Yeah.
Mark Daly. If we ask Mark Daly to ask the questions, that guy. All right, what singer sang on Black Sabbath's Sabbath Bloody Sabbath? Yeah, stupid questions like that, you know.
No, he'd be like, "What's the best song by XYZ?"
Oh man. So we're gonna talk about Aerosmith today.
Yep. Someone said Aerosmith's retired and don't know it. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think they're coming back.
No.
Well, actually, Joe Perry just released a statement today, just like an hour ago on Blabbermouth, saying he hopes they come back next year, 2024. So
No.
I hope they don't.
We'll see.
I hope this is it. I got tired of hearing everybody what they do, like 3 shows, before it all went to shit.
Uh-huh.
They're like, "Oh, what a great set list." I'm like, what fan are you?
No.
Great set list, my ass.
I gotta disagree with you, Ian.
Okay, bye.
The set list may not be good, but for the set list to include Season of Wither and No More No More, yeah, I don't give a fuck what else they play. If they play those 2 songs, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's great. But I'm saying for what they're charging, you got to give me at least 5 gems. You got to give me 5 deep cuts
Yeah.
for me to fork over money, because I saw them on the Pump Tour in fucking 1990, and that's I'm good. Unless they come out with something, like, hey, we're only doing the 70s shit, which they'd never do. But, they were charging ridiculous money, like they're the fucking Stones or something.
Oh no, I wasn't going. It was coming down here, and I was like, man, I ain't gonna pay that much.
I was supposed to work the show when they came to Raleigh. I was scheduled to work at it, but I would have probably seen.
What were you doing, drumming?
Yeah, actually, it was
taking over for Joey Kramer.
Yeah,
that's another sore subject.
Just congas.
All right, hey, you guys talk about Aerosmith. I'm gonna go take a piss and grab some more beers, and wait for Wayne to show up. He's still not returning my calls.
No,
I told you we should have done Poison. God damn it.
Wayne hasn't written back.
No, I've seen nothing.
Wow.
Nope. So
Now I'm all worried.
He's not checking his messages. Yeah.
Anyway, Tony, do you remember how you discovered Aerosmith?
Yeah. I remember just hearing stuff on the radio as a kid, different things, probably Sweet Emotion, of course, Walk This Way. I think really, when I started buying rock magazines in the early 80s and stuff, you were seeing stuff still about them, but they were kind of old news by that time. And, I've mentioned before that we had gotten MTV or cable TV in general in 1983 of that summer. And I remember them showing the Lightning Strikes video was in pretty regular rotation. And there was a live clip of them doing Dream On that was in from the 70s that was in rotation. So I think the first thing that I actually purchased from the band was the Greatest Hits on cassette. So that's it. Yeah, pretty. Just kind of went from there. I've never said I'm like a huge Aerosmith fan, but I started picking up a few of their albums and stuff here and there, a couple cassettes back in the day, rocks and stuff. When I guess in the early 90s, when they signed to, I guess they re-signed or something to CBS Records or something after they had signed to Geffen and started having the hits again with Permanent Vacation and Pump and all. Then they went back and re-signed with Sony, and Sony did the remasters. Remember they did that Box of Fire that came out? So that whole
I got that.
Yeah, those CDs sound excellent. And I went out and just pretty much got the whole set and discovered some stuff I didn't know, hadn't heard from the band. So definitely a lot of the older stuff is definitely what I'm going to go into today as far as my favorite stuff. Because I really don't care much for what they do nowadays or have done in the last 25 years or so.
Just to let you know, I did get a text from Wayne. He's not going to be able to make it. He got caught playing Man of War within 30 feet of a school. So he's going to be tied up for a while.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
it happens.
Manowar kills.
Yeah, they're doing one show, like it was
Yeah.
in New York.
That's all their schedule can permit. Did you see the post?
Yeah,
We're too busy. Too busy.
yeah. Have no interest in that.
I think Joey's a
I
security
saw them
guard.
back in the day. I'm good. They're, got good memories. Love their old albums. That's it. That's good.
All right, Ian.
Aerosmith.
So how'd you discover Aerosmith?
Well, my old man had, the 70s records. Not all of them, I think he had Toys in the Attic. And talked about this before. The first time I heard Walk This Way was the Run DMC version. I'm like, who's these two old ladies on stage with Run DMC? And I loved the Run DMC version. And then I was like, it made me check out Aerosmith. And so I heard the original version, Walk This Way, put on my dad's record. I was like, this is terrible. And now, of course, I'm the complete opposite. But, a lot of times it's like whatever version you hear first is the one you love. Not there. But now I don't want to hear either version. No, I fell in love with Aerosmith. And like most people my age, Permanent Vacation was huge. And that was my first one. And stayed current with them, but went back. And, man, when I discovered the 70s catalog, I was just like, wow. And I do have that box of Fire in the box with a little match and everything. Yeah, those sound great. The 70s stuff is incredible, and I like the early 80s stuff, now that I'm fully, know everything, I'm kind of like done with mirrors back is what I do. But I still give the shit a chance. That last one, I think I listened to it once. That Music from Another Dimension. I don't even know if I don't think I made it through like every track. I'd give it like a couple of seconds and like, to me, Permanent Vacation On is like, it's like an AI version of Aerosmith. It's like somebody just put in the computer and this is what they're supposed to sound like, but it's not true Aerosmith. Saw him in 90 on the Pump tour. It's a good show, great show, but I've said this before, it shows how weird it is. They played Train Kept a Rollin', and like everybody sat down, like nobody knew what the fuck they were playing. And I was like, oh, this ain't good.
Yeah, I had a similar experience when I saw them in the early 90s, and they played Lord of the Thighs. And we had really good seats. We were probably like on about 4th or 5th row. And all these people start sitting down. And we're like, me and a couple friends were like, yeah, fucking deep cut.
Yeah.
And, and the people are like, what is this, a new song? Is, bathroom break for people? It's like, they don't know this,
They did this.
But I agree, man. A lot of people our age or a little younger probably discovered Aerosmith through the Run DMC video.
Oh, definitely.
The same thing happened to me. Last time I saw Aerosmith was like 13 years ago, and they played Combination, and everybody left. And I was like, what? Then they played Love and Elevator, and the place goes nuts. That's why Ian's little dream, I'll go see Aerosmith, they play this, but, I would too. Ain't gonna happen because we are the minority, dude. No. Nobody gives a fuck about Combination and Train Kept a Rollin'. They want to hear Janie's Got a Gun and Crazy.
Yeah, no, we live in a world where Don't Want to Miss a Thing overtook Dream On as their most popular song. And that's a sad fucking reality. That I think the entire band hates that song except maybe Steven Tyler, but you'll never see a show now where they don't play it because it was just that.
Because that's what the people there want to see.
Yeah.
They don't want to see.
And that's when I'm going to the restroom if I was there, And
they don't want to see Lord of the Thighs. They want to see
thing. This is JMJ of JM's channel of awesomeness. He said, I discovered Aerosmith during Pump era around 89. Funnily enough, I discovered the band Tesla not long after that and thought Jeff Keith was Steven Tyler. I was like, wow, this is pretty heavy for Aerosmith.
Well, I don't have a memory of discovering Aerosmith, but I remember my first Aerosmith was live bootleg. I remember buying that and loving it. And then I remember the first studio album I bought from them was the first one, which was an original press because it said Feature and Dream on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I bought back then. Then Toys in the Attic, and then Night in the Ruts I bought when it was brand new. And at that time, they were playing Walking in the Sand on the radio like crazy. It was a single of the album. Now, you want to talk about an album I fucking love. I don't think Aerosmith has done anything as good as what they did up to Night in the Ruts. Look, Rockin' Hard Place, I think side one is awesome. I don't like side two. I just don't. So Done with Mirrors is a complete crap show. I mean, that album
I like it.
I mean, it has 3 good songs, but the rest is just. I wasn't a fan of Done with Mirrors. I mean, Permanent Vacation. But I loved most of Pump. I thought Pump had some great songs on it, like Monkey on Your Back, Voodoo Medicine Man, some Fine, Fine, Young Lust. It had some, but yeah, it had some garbage on it too. That's why I think from Night in the Ruts to that first album, that to me is the best. That's the one. Those are the Aerosmith albums that I like completely. You know, there is 2 songs I'm not too crazy about on Done with Mirrors. I mean, not Done with Mirrors. Draw the Line. But dude, that album has Kings and Queens, Cypher Store Eyes, that title track, Draw the Line, amazing.
But at least with Pump, you know, he was still writing good lyrics then, you know.
Yeah,
and Steven Tyler, amazing lyrics, but you know, take a song like Janie's Got a Gun. You know, most people would listen to that and think, oh, that's a song about a girl getting molested. But if you actually listen to the lyrics, it's just about a stepdad that wants to have some fun with his stepdaughter. You know, and then he finds out she's got a gun. You know, she's got a dick. You know, so then she fucks him, and then they talk about how, well, the first Montrose album is good. You know, but you don't know that until you got to dig a little bit.
Well, I don't see why Aerosmith doesn't come out and say it now, because it's trendy to be that way now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chicks with dicks is in now.
Yeah, it's training to be that way.
But
enough about Wayne. He's not here to defend himself.
So Aerosmith to me was fucking amazing in the 70s. You know, because of Kiss, I got into all these bands, and Aerosmith was one of them. That, you know, Aerosmith, Ted Nugent. 70s, these were the bands when they were at festivals. These were the headlining acts, and they were just dangerous, fucked up. And I got to see Aerosmith at one of their most fucked up times. The first time I ever saw Aerosmith was Rockin' Hard Place, which was the opening for Journey at the Miami Baseball Stadium. Check out this lineup. It was headliners Journey, Aerosmith, Billy Squier. Wow. I think it was Bryan Adams. An opening act,
Motorhead.
The guy that said he hasn't opened for anybody since 1979.
Oh.
Sammy Hagar opened that show. And
people stuck around. That's crazy.
I, at the time, didn't hate Sammy, but I didn't like him enough to get on the field and go up front, because I did watch Sammy in the back, like sitting in the, and no, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is horrible, and I wasn't thinking, oh, this is great. The only thing I remember about that was he played Whole Lotta Love. That's all I remember about his set. I don't remember none of his tracks, but I remember he played Whole Lotta Love, and people went crazy. Oh my God, Zeppelin, you know. And
you're like, what? They couldn't afford the Greg Kihn band? They had to get Sammy Hagar.
But let me tell you, Aerosmith that day, like Steven Tyler had this really weird Fu Manchu mustache all the way down, and Tom Hamilton had a bottle of Jack Daniels on top of his amp, that every time they'd finish a song, he'd go and swing it. I was right in front of Tom Hamilton that time. That was Rick Dufay and Jimmy Crespo. They
Nice.
were fucked up, but they played fine. I thought Steven sounded great. And this is the tour where a lot of people said it was a shit show. I just got lucky. I saw one of the good ones. And they ripped, man. I remember them playing Lord of the Thighs and No Surprise was played that night. And Bitches Brew, Jailbait. Oh, good shit, man.
Well, that's the thing, too. You saw them before, no matter what's on the set list, it had to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't play none from side 2 of Rockin' a Hard Place.
Nice.
Right, but it was ripping. Then I saw the tour was called Back in the Saddle Tour.
Right.
With Joe Perry. Come back with the original lineup. And opening band Black and Blue. And I love that first Black and Blue album. That was the first Black and Blue album. So I'm lucky I got to see that. And then I saw Dome of Mirrors with Ted Nugent opening, and then I saw Permanent Vacation with White Lion. Pump with I don't remember who. I
saw Black Crows opened up my show.
No, it wasn't Black Crow. It might have been Cinderella. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
When you saw Black and Blue, was that when Ace Frehley was a guitar player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Tommy Thayer was a guitar player, but he got sick and Ace stood in for him.
Oh, okay. Oh, it must have sucked.
Yeah, I saw the Get a Grip. By then, I hated Get a Grip. I
think that's when I saw him. Was the first time I saw him. It was probably Get a Grip. That was early '90s, right?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
93, I think.
It was heavy on that album on the set list. They basically played just about that whole album. And every predictable song from the old days, Draw the Line, Sweet Emotions, Dream On, and Walk This Way, was the songs they played in the past. But everything was, and plus you had, man, one of the worst songs ever, in my opinion, from Aerosmith, that it probably is the worst song to me, is Ragdoll. I can't stand fucking Ragdoll.
Living in the movie.
That song drives me nuts, man. It's so shitty. And every time they would play, and I'm like, fuck, not this guy.
Man, but by that time, though, I mean, they had a total new fan base. I mean, the fan base at that time was pretty much Permanent Vacation on. It'd be like seeing Metallica in the 90s. It was like people who liked the Black Album Forward,
Yeah. And they were huge. They were huge. Those albums were huge. 9 Lives, I don't think was that bad. I like the Farm.
It's too long, but there's some good songs on it.
The Farm is good on there.
I've ever heard it.
I like.
Oh, I
I
love that single. Fall in Love is hard on the knees.
I like that one.
I do like that song.
3 or 4 good songs on that one. And then that Just Push Play, that pretty much you know what? I never did hear the last one. I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Just Push Play is fucking disgraceful.
Yeah, 9 Lives was the last one that I bought. And I downloaded Just Push Play and the other one. I don't think I've ever listened to Just Push Play all the way through.
It has rap on it, man. They actually rap on it.
But I did like Honkin' on a Bobo.
I didn't like that. I tried.
Yeah, I did as well. I thought it was going to be cool, I thought, it was going to be like a bunch of Train Kept Rollins type, something that's going to rock.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, compared to the shit they were putting out at the time, I thought it was good. But that music from another dimension. If I do, I'm trying to think back because it was right when it came out. I think it was one of those downloaded it, would hit play on a track, give it a minute, be like, nope.
Chris Flood said he saw Joe Perry project in the same year. I guess he means back in the early '80s or whatever, and said he could barely stand up. Yeah, I have some friends that saw Joe Perry here in North Carolina at a gig, and he basically came out on stage and passed out when he came out. And I think in the book, the biography, Walk This Way, the Aerosmith story, they mentioned that he had a seizure in South Carolina. It said they got the statement mixed up or whatever. But
I never saw the Joe Perry project.
Mark,
I did see the Rick Dufay Experiment. Yeah, it was heavy on rocking a hard place.
Yeah, sure it was. Yeah.
I got this Aerosmith box set a long time ago, before the box.
Pandora's box?
No, it was before. It was all the '70s albums in a red.
Oh, nice.
In a red box, and as a bonus, it brought the Joe Perry project. Let the music do the talking. Now, mind you, I've never heard this Joe Perry, and I already heard Aerosmith's version of Let the Music, so maybe I'm biased, but man, that Joe Perry version sucks. And so many online say it's way better than the Aerosmith version.
It's not.
I like some of the Joe Perry project. That's not one of my favorites, but the first album's got some good stuff on it.
I gotta listen to it again.
The second one's okay as well. The third one was the one that I think Once a Rocker, Always a Rocker. That one's pretty lame.
Yeah, well,
Tony, you're too nice. Are you sure you're not from Canada and you're not just putting on this fake accent?
Yeah,
you're too nice to Joe Perry.
What are you talking about, eh?
His roommate's Martin Popoff.
So, if what Manny told me is correct, we're doing our top 5 Aerosmith albums and our top 10 songs. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Hey, I just got a message from Wayne. He said the other day. He said I just said the other day I couldn't do it. Something. He said he couldn't do it. Yeah. Yeah, he said Manny. Yeah, he and Manny are both in jail. No, he said that he just couldn't do it. He said that to us the other day. So okay, that's cool. I didn't see that. We didn't see that, Wayne.
I think I did. You forgot. It's because Wayne's not important.
I'm sad that Manny's not here. I saw a couple weeks ago he couldn't do the show because he was going on a date. And did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, that was, I think, last week, wasn't it?
That was last week, yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently, he met this nice girl. They went out on a date and started talking about music and shit. And he's like, yeah, I know a lot of people are like, I only like the David Lee Roth era, but, 5150 is a really good album. And, apparently, her pussy dried up like the Sahara. And she ended up, leaving the table at the Sizzler, went to the bar, and left with a man. So I don't think Manny's recovered from that.
It's amazing how Ian knows everything, man.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. He has a crystal ball.
I talk to people, but I didn't want to gossip, so you didn't hear from me.
I saw a funny meme the other day. It's a chick yelling at a guy going, "What do you mean you like Van Hagar?" And then the next picture shows her saying, "I think we should see other men."
So we're gonna do top 5 albums and top 10 songs here. So what we're gonna do? Okay.
Yeah. So why don't you take it away, Tony?
What do you want to do first? Albums?
Yeah, let's do the top 5 albums first.
Okay.
Are we gonna do them one at a time? Go through our top 5?
No, let's do all 5. Let's do
5.
And then when we do the songs, we just do 5.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
My number 5 is going to be the debut, the first Aerosmith album. Number 4, I'm going to go with Draw the Line. And my number 3 is going to be Get Your Wings. Number 2 for me is Toys in the Attic. And my number 1 pick, favorite Aerosmith album, is Rocks.
Right on. Most people will say Rocks. All right, Ian, give us your 5.
Well, I'm not fucking most people, but we got some similarities here. My number 5 is the debut album, Aerosmith. I think it's a criminally overlooked album in their discography. Most people just know it for Dream On, but yeah, there's so much great shit on there. I love it. My number 4 is Night in the Ruts. A fantastic album that I don't think got its due at the time. I think there was kind of a a perfect storm that fucked that album. You got Joe Perry leaving. It's 1979. It's the height of disco. There's backlash from the Sgt. Pepper shit, and coming off, in my opinion, a lackluster album in Draw the Line. But I think as time goes on, more people are appreciating Night in the Ruts nowadays. My number 3 would be Toys in the Attic. Great album. There's you can't argue there. My number 2 is probably going to be most people's number 1, which is Rocks. But being the contrarian I am, I'm the straight contrarian. Would be Get Your Wings. Get Your Wings. Since the first time I've heard it till now, it's always been my favorite Aerosmith album. And what I love most about it, I think, is the flow. I love the sequencing on it. Of course, I love the songs, but it's one of those things where I don't cherry pick a song off of Get Your Wings. If I'm listening to Get Your Wings, it starts with fucking Same Old Song and Dance, and it ends with Pandora's Box. It's an experience.
That is a good. You're right. That is a good just flow of those songs.
Yeah, and that's why since probably the first time I heard it was probably late '80s. Always been my favorite. Love Get Your Wings. Ralphie boy.
All right, we all have the same number 5.
Nice.
The first album. It was I think it was the first studio album I bought from them because of Dream On. I bought it for Dream On. But man, Write the Letter, Moving Out. Great version of Walking the Dog. Better than the Stones. Yeah, I said it.
Better than Rat?
You know what? I'd even say the Rat version is better than the Stones.
I love that Rat version.
Yeah, you know what? I think the Rat version is better than the Aerosmith version.
I agree.
I'll tell you what, I think Steven Tyler, of course, is better than Steve Perry. But man, DeMartini on Walking the Dog is amazing.
Yeah. I love it. Somebody, the first song, Make It. That's a great album, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Number 4, Get Your Wings, which you will see contains my all-time favorite Aerosmith song. I think it's a phenomenal album all the way through. Not a bum track on it. I can do without the horns on Same Old Song and Dance, but I think the song is awesome. Fuck the horns.
Yeah.
And number 3, Night in the Ruts. A very special album to me. It's the first one I bought when it was new. I think it's super heavy. I think every song is good on it with the great cover of Think About It and Cheesecake, man. SOS. I mean, not SOS. Coney Island.
Whitefish Boy.
3 Mile Smile.
Best track on it to me.
Oh Chiquita, No Surprise, Mia. Amazing album. Very, very, extremely underrated because it didn't have no hit. All right, and number 2, Rocks. No, it's not my number 1. It's been my number 1 forever, but it changed. Like sometime, I think last year or earlier this year, I said, you know what? There's an album I like more than Rocks from the Aerosmith catalog. And a lot of the hardcores couldn't pick this because it's the popular one. But I'm sorry, Toys in the Attic to me is the most perfect. I mean, that album just rules. Yes, Walk This Way, Sweet Emotions, Burnt Out, but they're still killer tracks. If they weren't on the radio 24/7, you'd love them more. Trust me. You love them as much as I love them now. No More, No More, Round and Round, Uncle Salty, Adam's Apple, Toys in the Attic, Big 10 Inch. You See Me Crying, best Aerosmith album, in my opinion. And it's not a contrarian opinion, really. You know, most people would say rocks that are the hard, hard rock category. And then most people would say Toys in the Attic. I think those are the two that most would pick. If you would ask the general consensus, it'd probably be Toys in the Attic would probably win for the strength of Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion. Because, the casuals will go for Toys in the Attic.
I got to pee. Don't go into your songs yet.
All right. So, yeah, that is my my top 5 Aerosmith albums. And I think everything after it, those 5 are just not as strong. I mean,
No.
Draw the Line is great.
Yeah, it's got some great songs on it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love it all except for Bright Night Fright and Milk Cow Blues. It's only 2 songs.
That's probably my least favorites. But yeah, I mean, just going on some of the other stuff. I'm with you on Done with Mirrors. I think Done with Mirrors is just like it's just not good at all. I mean, it's like, that was supposed to be their big comeback record, and I mean, Ted Templeman produced it. Kolodner got them back together, and supposedly he was trying to keep them off drugs. But maybe he should have let them do some drugs, and maybe the album would have been better. Because if you think about it, not condoning drug use, but the best Aerosmith stuff was done when they were under the influence.
Well, I mean,
after Done with Mirrors, then when they started doing Permanent Vacation and all, it started all these outside songwriters are brought in. Didn't use all that back in the 70s, But as far as the newer stuff, I mean, I do like the Permanent Vacation record, the hits I can skip. But like I love Magic Touch. Hangman Jury's good. It's got some good stuff on that record. But I really go, and I need to go. I need to hear some of these other ones you were talking about. Some stuff. Because I don't think I've ever heard Get a Grip put into hits.
Get a Grip is horrible.
And Push. Push. What's the one after
Nine Lives?
No, the one after Permanent Vacation.
Pump.
Push, Pump. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard the whole.
Pump, man, has some. That's my favorite album after the 70s. Pump.
I just know the singles. That came
I don't like the singles. Well, the other side's okay.
Young Lust is on their album.
Yeah, that's what
I've heard that. That was a cool song. They used to play that on the radio around here for a little bit. That's a cool song.
And Fine Fine's got some of Steven Tyler's greatest lyrics.
And that's something we haven't talked about. He's a brilliant lyricist. I mean, he came up with some great stuff. That whole thing about, he went out, he wrote Walk This Way. He basically wrote the lyrics on the wall outside the studio, sitting on the steps. He just wrote them, out because he saw Marty Feldman in Young Frankenstein where he says, "Walk this way."
Yeah.
So they copped the title, and he went out and wrote some lyrics. So it's pretty cool. I mean, they got some great stories about how they came up with some of the lyrics and stuff.
I have a Steven Tyler story. I don't even know if I ever told you this, Ian.
Uh-oh.
Steven Tyler, this was 82, 83. Yeah. He was in a McDonald's fucked up out of his mind. And I went up to him and got his autograph.
On what? On like a napkin or like a Happy Meal box? Or
no, a receipt, a white receipt. I still got it. A McDonald's receipt.
Nice. Now I would love to see the prices. It'd probably make me cry.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, yeah, they're probably still on there. But yeah,
all right.
That was being fucked up.
Before we move on, Wayne texted me with his top 5 albums, and he asked me to read them.
Okay.
He said at number 5, Permanent Vacation. Number 4, Pump. Number 3, Get a Grip. Number 4, 9 Lives. And number 2, 9 Lives. And number 1 is Music from Another Dimension / Armageddon soundtrack. It was a tie for number one.
See what happens when you don't show up, Wayne.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's
No,
what you get, pedophile.
There was a special at the Glory Hole tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ian knew that story before. Ian knows everything. Yeah, I don't know how he gets all the information.
I read a lot.
I've worked a few Aerosmith shows over the years and stuff, and you know, you see him and stuff, and walking around, like Tom Hamilton, he'll like say, "Hey, how you doing?" if he passes you or something, like, because I've worked as like a runner and stuff for the shows. But I remember one night, they were getting ready to go on stage. The band had already gone on stage, and I was coming down the hall I was, like I said, working as a runner, so I probably had something I needed to bring to the production office or something. But they tell you, stop, the band's coming through. So you stand there and wait. And the last two out of the dressing rooms is just Tyler and Perry. And Perry comes out, and he's got a cigarette, which you're not supposed to be smoking, but he's got a cigarette, and he tosses it down on the floor, and Steven like ran up to him and kind of like just like put his arm around him and says, like, "Let's go rock," or something like that to him. And they just walked off. I was like, man, that was cool. And I looked, and there's the cigarette on the carpet, and everybody's looking at it. And I went, eBay.
That's awesome. I worked an Aerosmith show one time, and Brad Whitford just passed me a note that said "help." I guess he was being held against his will or something.
Probably, yeah.
I saw Woodford St. Holmes once.
Wow.
Did you? On the original run or the...
Yeah, the original run. And Tony is the one that sent me this. I saw Blue Oyster Cult and Foghat at the Sportatorium where MTV was there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Woodford St. Holmes opened that show.
Opened the show. Wow.
Nice.
I was supposed to see them when they did that run a few years ago. They got back together and they did a second album. And they
Did anybody hear that one? Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's
I liked
good.
it.
It's pretty good. I was going to go see them. They played, they were playing a show in North Carolina, and I was planning to go, and the club went out of business. Like the club got shut down or something that week, so I didn't get a chance to see them.
Damn. That sucks. And Brad Whitford, criminally underrated, smokes Joe Perry badly.
Oh, yeah.
Such
the best musician in that band.
He is, for sure.
Amazing musician, but he doesn't get the credit because he looks like Larry Fine from the Three Stooges.
Very true.
Very true. If you look like Joe Perry,
And Joe Perry's got that fucking like Mick Jagger effect. He's like he's so ugly, he's good looking.
He's the Keith, man. He's Keith Richards to Tyler's Jagger.
Joe Perry technically isn't good, but there's a lot of shit he does that may not technically be great, but it's awesome.
He's like Ace Frehley, man. He's just he oozes
overrated. Yeah.
No. But right on. All right. Hey, Tony, you have any honorable mentions before we go into your top 10?
I do. I picked 5. I picked Chip Away the Stone, which was a track that was on the Gems. Great song.
On Gems. And let me tell you something. Anybody out there that doesn't, know much about Aerosmith, the perfect album to get is Gems.
The best greatest hits that they ever released.
Yeah, it's better than the greatest hits album.
It's not a greatest hits. It's a deep track album.
Yes. Yeah.
Of all like the killer.
Better compilation. Yep.
I'm
going to go with No More from Toys. Love that one. The title track to Toys in the Attic. Great riff on that one. Same Old Song and Dance off Get Your Wings. Another cool song. Did you ever hear the Black and Blue cover of that? It was the cassette bonus track on the second album, Without Love.
Nope, never heard.
Because I know when they put the CD out, you don't get it. So I don't know. It's just kind of
I have it on vinyl, that album, but
it's not on the vinyl either.
Good.
And another one I had was Magic Touch off Permanent Vacation, because I said I do like a few songs on there, and I really thought that was a cool song. So that's going to be my honorable mentions.
All right, well, give us your first 5.
First 5, I'm going to go with Last Child off Rocks. That's just got a cool, like, just riff and kind of flow about it. It's just kind of got this just kind of swank about it. It's really cool. Gonna go with Combination off Rocks for my number 9 pick. Number 8, I'm gonna go to Toys in the Attic for the song Adam's Apple.
Yeah.
Really cool one.
Nice.
Number 7, I'm gonna go to the only song I picked off Rock in a Hard Place, and that is Lightning Strikes. And I've liked that ever since I saw that video on MTV, and they look like they're greasers and 50s throwback.
Yeah.
Grease
They
lightning.
look like a group would get beat up by the Warriors.
Yeah, totally.
You know what's cool about that song is when I saw Joe Perry return to the band, they played Lightning Strikes in the first
He loves that song. He's gone on record saying he loves that song.
song rips.
Yeah. And so number 6 was Rats in the Cellar off Rocks. Another cool, fast-paced one. Love that one.
Yeah, that's one rules. New York City Blues. Hey, Ian, how about your first 5?
Okay, well, I don't have honorable mentions, but Wayne did send me his top 10 list, so I'm going to go through his. At number 10, Ragdoll. He says that's a winner. At number 9, Bavarian Ragamuffin off of Rockin' a Hard Place. At number 8, Pink from 9 Lives.
That'd be his number 1.
No, you'd be surprised. At number 7, Crying off of Get a Grip.
Wow.
And at number 6, he goes back to Get a Grip with Eat the Rich. Okay, so there's Wayne's. So now you know where he stands. All right, so my number 10.
Oh, wait. I don't want to miss a Thing's not on his list.
That was his first 5.
Not yet.
First 5. Oh, okay.
Okay. And you'd be surprised where it's placed. I'm looking at it right now. You'd be surprised. But at number 10 is No Surprise off the criminally underrated Night of the Ruts. Love that one. Again, man, if you guys slept on that album, go back, give it another chance. Number 9, Spaced off of Get Your Wings. I love it, man. That is some drugged out fucking shit. And that's what I love about 70s Aerosmith, man. It's just so drugged out, real rock and roll. Permanent Vacation On is like that friend of yours who just quit smoking or just quit drinking, and they're like, it's really bad. That cigarette's annoying me. Can you move it? No, this is drugged out fucking Aerosmith. It's awesome. At number 8, my lone track, even though it didn't make my top 5 albums, I got to go to Draw a Line with Kings and Queens. Amazing track and very different from them. I mean, from what you heard before or after from Aerosmith. Amazing track. Number 7 off the debut album, Moving Out. God damn, do I love that fucking song and the fucking breakdown and to me that's the epic track off that album. Dream On is great. Love it. Never want to fucking hear it again. Moving Out, more people need to listen to that. I wish, shit like that was as popular as some of their bigger shit. And at number 6, back to Get Your Wings with Lord of the Thighs. That's just a sexy, sexy, sexy fucking song. I love that shit. And Danzig fucked it all up. If you ever heard his cover, terrible, terrible. Yeah, on that album, Skeletons. Mm-hmm. It was a cover album he did before he did that horrible Elvis album.
Yeah, that was really bad.
No, actually, the Elvis album was better than Elvis, but no, he did the song this album Skeletons, and it was like obscure shit, and I love that. I love when people do obscure shit. Like Monster Magnet put out a cover album of shit like nobody's ever heard, and it was kick ass. But Danzig, he's got this weird thing about, like, he goes, when you cover a song, it can sound nothing like the original. Well, he succeeded in that because his version is not good. And this original is fucking amazing. Love it. That is my 10 through 6 with Aerosmith.
All right, here's some honorable mentions on my part. SOS Too Bad. Round and Round. Sick as a Dog. Let the Music Do the Talking. Way better than Joe Perry's Project version. Lightning Strikes. Monkey on Your Back. Jaded. Believe it or not, I love Jaded. So it didn't make my list. And what's this last one I wrote here? I can't make it out. All right, whatever. Okay, so at number 10, Combination off Rocks. And I was so happy the last time I saw them, they actually played it. I did not see that one coming. I mean, that's like a deep, deep track for them to play live, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 off an album I don't like, My Fist Your Face. That song rules. I mean, rules. I mean, too bad that album didn't have more songs like that. And number 8, probably their heaviest song that Testament ruined, Nobody's Fault. Love it. Number 7, I talked about this song earlier, Bone to Bone, Coney Island Fish Boy. That riff. Ripping tune. All right, number 6, probably the greatest, in my opinion, Aerosmith ballad ever, and it's a cover. Cry Me a River. From Rockin' a Heart. What a fucking song that is. Love the hell out of it. Made it to my number 6.
Only reason that's not on my list is because I didn't pick any covers. But Cry Me a River is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, man. Other than my number 1 song, it's the coolest Aerosmith cover. I mean, coolest Aerosmith ballad. All right, Tony, give us your last 5.
Okay, so number 5 is going to be Lord of the Thighs from Get Your Wings. We all said we love that song. It's a great song. Number 4, I'm going back to Toys in the Attic, and for Sweet Emotion, I don't get tired of this song. Love the long version with the talk box now, but man, it's got the best groove, one of the best grooving songs ever.
Oh yeah, it's a stinky tight groove.
It's just awesome. Number 3, debut album, Mama Ken. I've always liked that one, even before Guns N' Roses covered it. You know, but it's just a good rock and roll song. Always dug that one. Number 2, Back to Rocks, Nobody's Fault. It's just a heavy, heavy song for Aerosmith. I do like the Testament cover, not as good as Aerosmith's, of course, but yeah, it's a good song. And my number 1 is from Draw the Line. It's Kings and Queens. And it's just my favorite Aerosmith song, has been for years. And it's like Ian was saying, there's nothing else in the catalog like it. It's almost like they went out and wrote this song, you know, about medieval times. It's kind of their immigrant song or something, you know. It's just a really, really cool song.
It's kind of like Led Zeppelin went to the studio and wrote that song for him.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it when it breaks and you got the riff playing and you just got the other guitar going wow wow wow. That's just so cool, man. It's just so cool.
And Tyler doing the high notes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hell yeah. Kings and Queens. All right, Ian. Give us your
Okay. Well, before I go into mine, I'm going to read off the rest of Wayne's list. Wayne said at number 5 is Angel off of Perfect Vacation.
I like
All right.
Come and save Wayne tonight.
At number 6, at number 4, he put Living on the Edge.
I like that one.
Get a Grip. Yeah, well, apparently so does Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay. In the fridge.
At number 3, and this surprised me, at number 3, he put Don't Want to Miss a Thing off of the Armageddon soundtrack.
Wow.
And
I'm like,
number 1.
I'm like, I know. And I was like, well, God, what could number 2 and number 1 be? At number 2, one I've never heard of, It must have been a B-side. It was called My Little 3-Inch 45. He says it's a winner, and he says it's not about the size of the record, it's about the motion in the ocean. And at number 1, he picked Gutter Ballet by Sabotage and said Aerosmith sucks, power metal rules.
Right on, Wayne.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys hate Wayne so much.
Wayne rules.
All great picks. All right, I'll go to my top 5. At number 5, my favorite Aerosmith ballad. My number 1 is kind of considered like a quasi ballad, but this is a full blown ballad, and that's "Home Tonight" off of Rocks. I just think it's a beautiful fucking song, and the way a ballad should be. Put one on the record, and you better fucking kill with it. No fucking bullshit. "Home Tonight's" amazing, and they never play this live that I know of. I mean, they might have played it a couple of times, but people don't know it like they should.
And it's written by Aerosmith, not Holly Knight.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes back to a great thing. Brad Whitford, when they did the last studio album, that Music from Another Dimension, he was fighting back against this songwriting team that they've pretty much had since Permanent Vacation on, with Desmond Child and the dude from the Hudson Brothers and shit. He's like, fuck all this shit. Let's just get in the studio, the 5 of us, and write songs together, and do a real Aerosmith record. And he was totally outvoted. So that shows you. But my number 4 is something that he wrote. And no, Testament did not ruin this fucking song. They did an amazing cover. I'm talking about "Nobody's Fault." Oh my God, is that a good fucking heavy ass song? I mean, that riff just fucking crushes. Number 3, I'm going to Rocks with "Combination." Holy fuck, I can't believe this wasn't higher on your guys' list. And man, just one of my favorite fucking verses ever. I got the Nouveau C. I dragged it home to bed. I traded you for me. I took it all and said, I find my own fun, sometimes for free. I got to pay it to come looking for me. Walking on Gucci, wearing Yves Saint Laurent. Barely stay on, cause I'm so fucking gaunt. Oh, I fucking love that shit. God damn, I love that shit. That is fucking rock and roll. That song kicks ass. My number 3. At number 2, a song so awesome they had to title it twice. No More, No More. A fucking masterpiece. I mean, I love the electric aspect of it, the acoustic aspect of it. Just a fucking incredible rock and roll song. But all of it bows its head and pales in comparison to the genius of Seasons of Wither. Just an amazing song. One of the best productions that I've ever heard on a song, too. I know, rather you're like, I don't have an ear for production or whatever. You can listen to this song and get the genius of what this is. And this is a headphone song. And I'm not talking about these fucking iPods. Get those big ass 70s fucking headphones and turn it up so loud that your ears hurt. And listen to this song and listen to the, the vocal overdubs, the way the strings are mixed in. The Jack Douglas production on this is fucking flawless. I mean, it's just as fucking, in your ears and spacey as anything Floyd's done. It's fucking perfection. And just so I can make some heads explode, Kiss never had a song as good as Seasons of Wither. It never will. This is real fucking music, real rock and roll. One of the best things I've ever heard in my life. And, you talk about, I think, Ralph, you might have said this, a song you want played at your funeral. Or, it's like, yeah, Seasons of Wither. I mean, it's just lyrically, musically, everything. I mean, it's almost Beatle-esque. It's so fucking perfect. even though it sounds
It
nothing
is
like
a
the
great
Beatles.
song.
But it's just it has everything, and so many people probably look at this band and they judge them from fucking Permanent Vacation on, but please don't do that. Go back, listen to 70s Aerosmith. I mean, this band was something, man. They were fucking hot. It was real rock and roll. It was dangerous, and now Steven Tyler looks like your lesbian aunt, But there was a time, when they were the most dangerous rock and roll band out there, man. And this is a prime example. Seasons of Wither, #1 song.
Right on. There was a time. You know what the acronym to There Was a Time is?
Twat.
Yeah. All right. Number 5 for me. No surprise. Awful. Night Ring. I love that fast part of Japanese Ken Boyle Teeter. Where the fuck my royalties? Capital BMI. Never saw a monkey fly. Love that shit, man. What a great.
So good, even David Lee Roth stole a lyric from it. Vaccinated with the phonograph needle.
Well, if you want to get technical, Vaccinated with a Phonograph Needle first appeared on
Peter Criss.
Peter Criss's 78 Soul.
I just thought about that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hooked on rock and roll.
Aerosmith. David Lee Roth didn't hear the Peter Criss version.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't think Steven Tyler. I don't think anybody did.
Yeah. I think he ripped it off from Aerosmith after all. Anyway, at number 4, Lord of the Thighs.
Nice.
Don't know who knows who. I first got turned on to that song on Live Bootleg, and it was like one of my favorite songs off Live Bootleg. Then when I heard the studio version, I even like the studio version more. But yeah, amazing.
I got to give that album another chance, man. I listened to it once, like 30 years ago, and just thought it sounded sloppy.
Yeah, it does. But that's
but a lot of people seem to like it, man. I don't know.
the charm of it. It's very bootleggy too, with the fireworks, and Draw the Line is on the album, but not on the track listing. Anyway, that is my number 4. And number 3, man, it should be higher. Kings and Queens. That song is just so epic and ridiculously awesome. My favorite line is the Viking spits blood upon the sand. It's just so evil and awesome. All right, number 2, No More, No More, off of Toys in the Attic.
Nice.
Best song on that album. And if it went for my number 1, that'd be the greatest Aerosmith song. But number 1 and number 2, Ian and I agree. Season of Wither is the greatest Aerosmith song, bar none. I absolutely love it. Check out the unplugged version on YouTube. Yeah, when MTV did Aerosmith Unplugged, they played Season of Wither, but they didn't. You can see it on YouTube. And they were playing Seasons of Wither on this last tour, and No More, No More. I'm like, just those 2 songs alone, fuck it. I'll suffer with the rest of the set list. But no, not for that much money. But there you go.
Someone said Kyron says Joe Perry plays on Gene Simmons' 78 solo album. He plays guitar on Radioactive. That's right. Yeah. He does.
And he plays on this really crappy song, Mongoloid Man, that was on the Gene Simmons Vault. Joe Perry does guitar on that horrible tune, Mongoloid Man.
I need to get you to send me those files again. I lost them somewhere. You sent me the files of that one time. Yeah,
now I'm going to get sued, Tony. I can't send them to you.
The ones to the Van Hagar vault.
Okay. So
no, you don't remember, Tony, because he sent you all the links to the Gene Simmons vault, and then you listened to it sober and deleted it. So
probably
when you sober up again, you'll remember
that's
why.
Probably what happened. Seriously. Yeah.
That's a piece of shit, that vault. I mean, if
you could actually make a decent CD.
I think you can make a decent EP. from those 12 CDs. You know?
Geraldo Rivera found more in Al Capone's vault than you will find in Gene Simmons' vault. True story.
Well, you know what's messed up about the Gene Simmons vault? There's this guy, man. I lost his number. I wish I can get in touch with him again. He's from Vegas. Really nice guy. He sent me a CD. All these songs that weren't on the vault that were better than any song on the vault. All these unreleased Gene Simmons songs that were better than anything that was on the vault. And it's like, and these songs didn't make the vault? I mean, what the hell? I don't know. Crap.
That's going to be in the vault 2.
Yeah.
Vault Part 2. Coming out in 2027.
Yeah, with the
coincide with the Avatars tour.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this was an exciting episode. Aerosmith. We're running out of ideas. So
some ideas I need to hit you about. Yeah.
They should do unreleased Aerosmith songs from like Permanent Vacation on. Call it Just Press Eject.
Next week we're going to have Wayne back, and we're going to do our top 10 power metal songs.
Oh, good. I won't be here. But I'll still hit like on the video, which I encourage everybody to do. Hit like and subscribe on this shit. Right. It's not that hard.
Well, I want to thank. Hold on a second. I got a.
Yeah.
I had it before I leave. I got to say this. There's this girl I know on Facebook. I mean, I don't really talk to her, but I know who she is. Well, she sent me a friend request the other day. Me thinking, well, maybe she was scammed or something. So I added her. No big deal. And, went on my day. And then she wrote me saying, hey, how are you? And I was like, I'm fine. How you doing? Well, I'm fine. Have you checked this news report on blah, blah? I was like, oh, my God, you've been scammed. I just wrote to her. Looked like somebody scammed you. And I unfriended her. And she just sent me another message. And I was saying, did you hear about the news report? It's like she doesn't even read what I just wrote. What a dummy. What a stupid fucking dummy. Scammers or something else. They're a special kind of stupid. I believe they're all Hagar fans.
I thought Wayne got hacked. I got a bunch of messages from him. It was all a bunch of dick pics and shit. I was like, hey, buddy, I think you got hacked. He's like, no, I didn't. Do you like my dick? And I was like, no.
I got a bunch of dick pics from him, but it was all pictures of his face.
Yeah.
See what happens, Wayne, when you don't show up. Exactly. Even when you show up, though, it happens.
Yeah. When it shows up, it's the listeners that give you shit.
Wait, do you see what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
All right, guys. Well, again, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Ian.
Definitely great being here.
And I want to thank you all that's been listening, watching, and being part of the chat and stuff.
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year.
That's right.
Happy New Year to everyone.
And thank you, everybody, for the support. You all rule. Later, guys. Smack 'em a gob.
Ah.
Bye.